Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to match day number 5 of the Skyview Girls Schools Cricket Week Tournament. This is the 22nd edition, the first edition being played in 2001 and won by Gayaza High School. But what an interesting clash we do have on the cards. It's the record champions of this tournament, Jinja Secondary School, taking on the defending champions, Olila High School. The two umpires will be making decisions in this game. Okoth Michael, standing alongside Oyet Samuel Baker. Olila High School won the toss and opted to bat first. My name is Evan Cyprian Sajabi here in the comms, and I'll be here with Fortunate Alijina tell you the stories as we see a final happening before the final. It's a Group A Super 8 clash. Good morning, Fortunate, and welcome.
Good morning, Evan. Thank you very much for ushering me in. And Malisa Record, the captain for Olila, winning the toss and going for the bat first. It tells you at this moment, every run on board would be counted for. So like these clashes, the highly anticipated games, every captain will look to go for the bat first. And that is what Malisa Record does for her team. And the ball has already marked her run-up. Mukite yesterday did decently bowl the 4 overs in a row for her team. Made sure that they picked that first win for the Super 8 for Jinja. And now, given that Olila has also won their first Super 8 game against St. Mount Henry's yesterday, so it means that any team that wins here stands a chance of emerging out of the group as the topper. And it's only a matter of time to see who gets the win.
Ichumar Josephine and Joanny Ilora are the opening batters for Olila High School. Mokite Asha will be opening the bowling from the Juba Road end. What a clash we do have on the cards. This game broadcasting live from the Laibi College main ground, a place that has 3 grounds. And there are games happening on the other grounds. St. Teresa taking on Gaza High School right behind us. And across the road, Mount St. Henry's, St. John's SS. But the first ball is a creeper. And the call from the umpire is no ball. Any other chance for Josephine Ichumar to break the shackles early in the game.
Those are good indications for any batter. You given liberty to free up to your hands. And I think Ichumar has the chance to go big. And she will have to bowl that once more. The lane isn't coming easily for Mukita at the moment. But it's another free hit to be bowled.
The free hit once again. Josephine Ichumar beaten by the pace completely. She didn't manage to get it out of the block hole. And it's a dot ball. The free hit goes unpunished.
That's a very good lane there executed by Mukita at the moment for the free hit. Not giving Ichumar any liberty to free the hands. And follows on with another beautiful delivery, attacking the stumps, but coming into this game of the second game for Olila in the Super 8. And if you're to look at the batting charts, the batting rankings there for this tournament, Malisa Requet from Olila leading with 142. And so is Ichumar Josephine, who has 126. It tells you how good these two batters for Olila have been for their side, topping the batting charts there. It means that they have really done a decent job.
A much better comeback there from Asha Mukite. 4 dot balls on trot. She started struggling, bowling wides, but she's managed to make a very good comeback, and she's hitting the good areas. Very much needed very much needed for Jinja Secondary School to try and make sure that they limit Olila High School to a total they can come out and chase. I tell you, it's a final of sorts that's happening this morning at Laibi. Well guided, but straight to the fielder. Fine stop there by Rashidat Kaula, and it's another dot ball in the over. You did speak about the leading runs scorer in Malisa Ario Court. But second on that table is Ichumar Josephine. Ichumar Josephine has a half century in this tournament. She will be making sure that she hits the blocks early to get some runs for Olila High School. But it's the final ball of the over. Tapped down, and it will be a dot ball. End of over number 1. Scoreboard reads 2 for no loss after the first.
Really beautiful start there for Mukita Asia. Despite bowling 2 extras at the start of the over, but later coming in and bowling 6 dot balls in a row shows you how prepared they are to come in and try and build pressure, get those dot balls. But one thing that I've liked about Ichmar Josephine is how she plays her innings long. She doesn't always rush into scoring runs, but she has been doing the anchor role for her team. And if you see all the scores she's got, she has been striking at below than 100. And that is a good sign for Olira. But it will be Ilora on strike, who has also been a vital player for Olira. And now Tikabula Rashida will be bowling from the school end. Yesterday we saw these two bowlers, Mukita and Tikabula, bowling tandem, bowled out all their 4 overs, rather 8 overs, and did so well around the pad this time round. And off the mark, Ilora goes chasing for the second run, and they will get the 2 runs. Good use of the wrist there.
Yeah, the first runs off the bat. Good use of the wrist there by Joanne Ilora, making it go past the fielder, who was at square leg, and she manages to run very quickly. They sneak through for the second. Somehow Rashidat Kabla bowling it across the pads. You need to make sure that she bowls it straight or outside off. Pace off and outside off, and she manages to pick up a dot ball.
Yeah, that's the lane that would be happy to bowl to, because you saw how she attempted that cut shot, not really in a good position, and it will be a good sign for Rashid at the moment. Try and keep and stick to that lane. And there she goes. There she goes. She reads the batter so well, and now, after straying away at the pad in the first ball, now has gone on to bowl to her field. We're having the deep extra covers. And if you're having such a field set, you have to bowl outside the lane of the stumps.
Hit, and it was traveling very quick. Hit a little late. Missed the fielder at short third, and there was work to do by the fielder from the third man boundary. Just a single Olila will take.
That was really timed so well. With the speed it came from the bat, shows you that there was clearly good timing. But it will be Ichmar who is yet to get off the mark on strike.
What a delivery there coming in from Rashidat Kaula, making sure that she forces Ichumar Josephine to try and make sure that she walks forward and hit. But not too good foot movement there from Josephine. And it's a dot ball there for Rashidat Kaula. Jinja SS displaying great passion in this game. And it's the final ball of the over. Close to the outside edge of the bat. And it will be a dot ball. 3 off Rashida's first. And 5 for none is the score after 2 overs.
I tell you, even in such a game of the Titans, you don't expect so many runs. A score of 100 could be a very good score in such a game, high intense game, very much competition. So if you see the two batters going at that run rate of 2.5, that could be not so much of something that we wouldn't expect, but it's what we all expect from this clash. But it will be Mukite coming in to bowl her second from the Juba Road end. She bowled the first and only conceded 2. And it will be Ilora, who has already picked 3 runs on strike, which is a good sign for Olila, because she hasn't really seemed to be struggling with the lanes for her.
Asha Mukita has been hitting the good areas. She started off with a no ball, followed it with a wide, and 6 dot balls in the first over. Now there she comes back again to try and make sure that she continues with the good areas. One angling away very quickly from Joanne Ilora, and it's another dot ball. Good start to this over.
I tell you, Ivan, with the look of the things from these two batters, Ilora and Ichmar, as a fielding captain for Jinja, I would love to put a slip fielder in place. We've seen them trying to reach out of the ball, trying to come and drive on the lanes that are real hard to drive. And there I will fancy my chances and put a field at slip, maybe for 2 or 3 overs, and see how things unfold. But at the moment, Mukite is really doing really well.
Inside out, a bit played late, and it goes over the head of Rashidat Kaula at point. Chance for Olila to pick up 2, but you feel that that was a little wide from Mukite Asha, giving Ilora Joan a chance of freeing up her arms.
It was really wide, but there even was a waiting fielder, got a little bit of her hand onto that ball. But I love the fact that these two, Ilora and Ichmar, are running real hard, already picking up that double they picked in the previous 2 over. That shows you they are really quick.
One thing I've liked about Mukite Asha's bowling is that she's kept sure that she either bowls straight or bowls outside off. That's why there is a fielder at extra cover in place to make sure that she does the sweeper roll. And it's already a good passage of play for Jinja Secondary School. They've made sure that they keep Olila in check. Runs are not in full flow. That's hit down. There is extra cover. Nearly fumbled it away, but good fielding. There is a chance for a run out, but the throw not going the right end. A throw to the bowler's end could have given them that run out. And in the end, it will be a single to end the 3rd over. Scoreboard reads 8 for no loss after 3.
They're having some middle conversation, the two batters, Ilora and Ichmar, because that was some mix-up to finish up the over. But I think they have cleared the air between themselves, and they have to communicate so well. Tikabula coming again for her second over. She bowled the first and only conceded 3. I would love to see a sleep again for the two batters, especially for Ichmar, the way how she played the last over of Tikabula.
When you look at the last ball of the previous over, there was some bit of a mix-up. Two batters operating on different networks. Nearly threw a wicket away to a run out. So in the end, they had to make sure that they get that conversation to address it as quickly as they can. And so far so good. Rashidat Kaula gave away 3 runs in her first over, and now she returns for her second. Played over the head of the field that covers, work for extra cover to do. The too loud pitch, and just 1 run they will do take.
That is how pressurizing they have been. Everything the ball has been in the gap, they have tried to be so loud to the two batters, and in the end, it's only one run taken. Yesterday, Tikavula Rashida bowling 4 overs and picking 2 wickets for only 10 runs, rather for only 6 runs. She showcased a very good display yesterday. She was really good with the lanes, and in the end, that performance saw Jinja SS going past St. John's Secondary School Mukono yesterday in the first Group 8 game. But what a bowling display it was been. It was for all the bowlers for Jinja. But that would be too late. Trying again to bowl to her field. But the batter who has been struggling each match is again looking for the way of getting that one run. And I tell you, if she gets one to her total, gets into the score sheets, she will get moving.
Bat and pad, so the appeal will go in vain, but a bit less there from Josephine Ichmal. It was right in the arc for the flick. She goes but just makes a little touch. Another dot ball. The current run rate 2.73 means that they will not get so many runs if they continue operating at this run rate. Beaten by the pace, and it's another dot ball. But that dot will back at the end of the over. Oh, sorry, it's there is a delivery remaining in this over.
Yeah, she bowled 6 balls, but because of that weight at the 4th ball, means that she'll have to bowl an extra ball. But I love the movement she's getting off the surface against Ichumar. A little bit a west swinger. But Ichumar again just giving it a little push. And finishing up the over with the dot ball is Tikavula Rashida. And after 4, the score is 10 for none. I tell you, there is some communication coming in for Tikavula. The batter who has just come in to send the information is that you're trying to play with a round bat. You're trying to drop that early ball. So they're trying just to tell her that you try and present a full face. A new bowler, rather it will be Mukita continuing from the Juba Road end, bowling in her 3rd. Another push to covers. Sheila has always been at covers there, the captain. She has really been good. We saw her yesterday against St. John's. So many stops she made. But like St. John's yesterday, the batters are again finding it difficult to drop the ball and maybe sneak that single. But they are trying to push the ball, push after the ball, hitting it hard straight to the fielders. And if you're to see the inner fielders, they are all hanging at the circle. No one is really closer to the batter. There is a chance of just dropping the run and the ball and run.
The only thing of concern for Mokite Asha in this over is that she's been bowling a little full. She is lucky that the batters are still having cold feet and they're not yet going for those powerful hits. But really clearly you see that when Ilora was on strike the previous over, she was really reaching the ball so well. So if she could push it harder, maybe she could have picked up many. Again, she bowls it short, but she doesn't receive the punishment. And you feel that that was a ball for Josephine Ichma trying to hit her way down to the onside. But she goes for a cautious approach, dabbing it down the ground, and it's another dot ball in the over. Somehow, Olila High School not capitalizing on these loose deliveries that are coming in from the GISS bowlers.
How many times, how many balls will it take for Ichmar to get off the mark? Maybe light up her eye, maybe get the blood flowing in her feet and hands. because she has faced 15 balls and still yet to get off the mark.
Yeah, final ball of the over, but one thing that always coaches do in this tournament is taking care of the wickets column. Every time you lose an early wicket, it sends more pressure to the rest of the batters. So you'd rather have batters in when they are not scoring, but with the hope that maybe they will score later in the innings. But we've come to the end of the 50th over. The scoreboard still reading 11 for no loss. Not a very good position to be in for Olila High School. They need to hit out of the blocks and try and make sure that they do get the runs.
Kabula Rashida coming again from the school end. And it's the last over of the power play. Already only 11 runs taking the power play. But how economical has Kabula been? That could be tested for concussion. Trying to go on the onside, getting the top edge that ends on her helmet. It's never a good sign there for a batter. The umpire has to do the needful.
As the umpire does the needful, would love to remind you that this is the 22nd edition of the Skyview Girls Schools Cricket Week Tournament happening here in Gulu City for the second consecutive year. It's a pool buffet of cricket. Olila High School taking on Jinja SS at Laibi Mine. Gaza High School is taking on St. Teresa at Laibi B Ground, just right behind where we are sitting. Mount St. Henry's is taking on St. John Secondary School at Laibi C across the road from where we are. Good Heart Secondary School taking on Uganda SS at Gulu Prison Primary School ground in the Jinja Derby. Kasese Secondary School taking on Nyakasura School at Graceland Girls ground in another Western Region Derby. This tournament is sponsored by Skyview, Movit Products Limited, the Hedging Partners, Scully, the Logistics Partners, and Batibo Uganda Limited, who are broadcast partners. The umpire Michael Koth doing what is much needed of him, and he gets done with that concussion test. Back to the action. 8 of 16 for Ilora Joan, and 9 of 16 for Ichumar Josephine. Not sure when do we see Josephine Ichumar trying to hit out of her blocks and pick up the runs for Olila High School. Olila High School defending champions in this. They won the tournament last year after beating Light Secondary School. That game was played at the Laibi, at the Gulu High School ground. Back to play, and good area there from Tikabula Rashida, picking up a dot ball, much needed for Jinja SS to try and make sure that they keep the pressure on.
These two bowlers for Jinja have really been so vital in the power play. We saw them dismantle St. John's yesterday, and now they have gone on to showcase their precision, because we haven't seen so many extras. Only 4 so far. Like in this tournament, so many teams are bowling extras, but already 4 only in this. You can say that they have really been good with the lanes.
Inside out shot, but somehow sliced. Work for the fielder running in from deep point to do. She makes a mess of it. Waiting for the confirmation from the umpire. And it will only be 2 runs added onto the total. But what an effort they are coming in from the little girl, putting Hubbard down on the line and making sure that she brings it back into play, saving Jinja SS from conceding a boundary.
Tell you one thing that Ilora has done is that lash onto every ball that has been bowled wider. You see the intention. She goes with an open blade, and she has picked a couple of runs in that region.
She drives one down to extra cover. Somehow Ilora John is not opening up her blade well, and she's not covering the ball so well. But clearly the balls have been in her reach. Sometimes you need to make sure that you capitalize and score more runs inside the power play. But when you look at the way the game is moving so far, it's Jinja SS who are ahead of things. They are really winning this power play. Final ball of the power play. And it will be a dot ball from Rashidat Kabula. 3 from her third over. And as we come to the end of the power play, scoreboard reads 14 for no loss.
Power play done for only 14 runs. But Jinja has not found a way of picking a wicket. Yesterday we saw they did the same. They controlled the power play for less runs, but they didn't pick wickets against St. John's. But in the 8th over for Tikabula, that's when the first wicket fell, and they are going with the same. But this time round, it is the captain who comes in and now as the third bowler for this morning, and she's to bowl to Ilora, who has been the one picking runs. Yesterday, the captain picked 4 wickets against St. John's and bagged herself a player of match award there, rather player of match performance. And she comes having 3 fielders on the onside, deep mid wickets, cow corner and long on, and only deep extra covers on the offside, bowling to Ilora, who has 11 from 20.
Yeah, we see a bowling change coming in early for Jinja SS. Hit down the ground and not good work done by the fielder. Chipping in the dive, but she doesn't manage to stop it. She might have hurt her foot in the course of saving that boundary. Ashana Magova going a little full.
Beautiful shot there, really beautiful. Just pushing towards the ball, but the lining and reaching the bounce of the ball was really paramount from Ilora. And driving it all the way to the ground, rather to the boundary for 4, shows you that she has already settled into the game.
Down again, this time on the onside, and another single. It's already a good over in the making for Olila High School. And I tell you, if they do take on Shila Namagova, it might be a very bad message being sent to the rest of the bowlers in the outfit.
I tell you, that was a beautiful cricketing shot, going back into the crease and playing it on the onside. Shortish delivery from the captain, but Ilora played it really well like a pro. And it is still a question of when is Ichmar getting off the mark.
Annie Edge straight to the hands of the fielder. Rashida Tikabula at third slips takes that beautiful catch. And Ichmaru Josephine's struggles come to an end. The ball was traveling away from her, but it just manages to get to the bottom edge of the bat. And Tikabula Rashida with a fine take. Jinja SS with a much-needed breakthrough. 9 of 19. Something we'd quickly see in a test match. But Josephine Ichumar falls without scoring for Olila High School.
It has really been a difficult morning for Ichmar. She struggled to get off the mark, but she was middling the balls, but only she didn't beat the fielders. And in the end, she departs without struggling the scorers. And they didn't trouble at any point. Went for only 0. And it will be the new batter, Record Melissa, who comes in at number 3. It is a good call to come in at number 3 after having lost so many overs. I might say 6 without scoring so many runs. And now she has to lead from the front. Make sure that she gets a steady partnership with Ilora, who is seeming to be under control now.
Yeah, she comes into this game with 142 runs on top of the batting charts. These runs have come in as many as 5 innings at a strike rate of 137. Ariokoti's highest score is 96. And as she makes her way to the crease, she gets off the mark right away. Yesterday she did score many runs against St. John's. I beg your pardon, against Mount St. Henry's High School. But today is another opportunity for her to try and break the shackles and score more runs, because this is a much-needed game. When you win this game, you have higher chances of topping the table. And when you top the table, you might play a weaker opponent from the other team. Upish, but into the safe zone. And it's another single for Olila.
She really seems to be enjoying playing against the captain. But with the single brings up the end of over number 7, and 21 for 1 is the score. Yesterday we saw Tikabula coming in and bowling the 8th over. She bowled all her 4 overs on trot and picked the 2 wickets in the last over of hers. That was the 8th over. And now they don't go with the same strategy. Abu comes in and replaces Rashida from the school end. Abu yesterday also had a good outing. Now she comes in at the moment where Jinja doesn't have to let these 2 batters, Ilor and Arikot, settle into the game. We know how destructive the captain for Olila can be. So it's just a matter of trying and don't let them settle into the game.
One thing that Coach Mugala Habib, the coach for Jinja S, has done in this game is trying to make sure that he shuffles the bowlers around, unlike in yesterday's game. Maureen Abo is the new bowler into the attack, and she is welcomed with a boundary just all driven there through the cover area by Joan Ilora. And the ball has enough legs to hit the boundary towards the extra cover.
2 times we've seen her picking a boundary on the offside. It tells you how strong she is driving the ball, despite the fact that there was a deep extra cover. Couldn't stop that in play, but the placement was really fine from Ilora. Those are good signs for Olila High at the moment. The boundary of the first ball.
Much better ball there from Abo Maureen. The previous one was a little full and towards the off stump, giving Ilora a chance to drive through the line, but now she bowls it a little straight. Ilora is good with the whip off the pads, but when you bowl it straight towards that volley area, she will try and make sure that she plays it down, and it becomes a very good area for you to pick up a dot ball. She drives one down the ground, work for Sheila Namagoba to do. There was a run-out chance if that had been a first-time pickup, but in the end, it's fumbled by Sheila, giving them a chance for another run. The ball that went for the boundary. The first ball, it was too full and towards the off stump, giving her a chance to just drive through the line. Until now, runs are starting to flow for for Olila High School.
Yesterday, Abu Maureen came in and bowled the last overs. She was really good at the deep, and only went for 2 runs when they were defending 18 in the last over. She came and delivered, but now coming in to bowl in the middle phase of the game hasn't really been so good for her. That is much better from the captain, much better. That's the awareness that is needed at the moment, and it's what each man should have done all along. Most times she went for power, she went for hard pushes, but the captain knows what is at stake at the moment and just drops it and finds a single. Really good awareness there from Arikot. Good comeback there from Maureen, making sure that she bowls a little bit straighter, despite not being the shortest bowls. Though Ilora tried to take on that one, but not quite timing it so well. An inside edge there, and they will scamper through for one. That was a lucky shot to get away with. Most times that shot ends at the stumps. 7 runs off that over, and it's 21 for 1, rather 28 for 1 after 8 overs. The captain, Sheila Namagoba, coming back for her second. She didn't have a good start, went for 7. While all the other bowlers, the opening bowlers, were really economical. These two have proven to be somehow expensive, and it's what Olila will need at the moment. Hit hard on the offside. The chase is on in the deep, but won't stop that in the field. A boundary to start off the over. And it is Ilora again getting that boundary on the offside. A really pure cricketing shot from Ilora.
Yeah, look at that stance there from Ilora Joan, just waiting for the ball, and she plays it with a turn. Because Namagova is bowling the ball drifting away from Ilora, so Ilora knows I can wait for it and cut. So she's just making sure that she accesses that boundary. And I think now what Jinja Esa should do is introducing a fielder towards that point area, because those balls will be angling in, or maybe Sheila should bowl it a little closer to Ilora. Ilora goes on the onside again and takes another single. Good eye contact that she is making, waiting for the ball and playing it with a turn.
Looking at those two shots, the 4 on the first ball and this single on the first ball, on the second ball, it shows you that she's really good on the offside, but her foot movement when it comes to going on the onside isn't that really good. Sometimes she finds herself late into going on that back foot and opening up to access the onside. And it's Melissa on straight right now. Good use of the wrist there to pick up the single. She's knowing that Ilora is doing so well at the moment, and now she's taking her time in the middle there. I love it that she's playing that way.
Yashira Namagoba comes into this game with just 12 wickets, with best bowling figures of 4 for 4. She's bowled 3 maidens so far in this tournament and an economy of 2.51. Her economy is gold dust. She'll need to make sure that she continues bowling well to keep Olila High School. I tell you, this is a final happening before the final. All eyes on this clash. Ilora goes. That might go all the way for a maximum. No. 1 bounce, but it will be a boundary. It went to the long boundary, but what a shot they are coming in. Oh, the confirmation from the umpire is that it is a maximum, as it went all the way.
That's a shot of intent there. She knows that the off spinner is bowling into the right hander, into her, and there is no protection there. The field at mid-off was in, or at mid-on was in the 30, and all she had to do was go after the ball. Big shot there. She's really dealing in boundaries. Already picked 2 boundaries in this over.
Yeah, they needed an over to attack, but I didn't know it could have been Sheila Namagoba's over. Sheila Namagoba overflighting it. She could bowl a little flatter and not too full, because I tell you now, Ilora Joan, who has so far faced 30 deliveries and scored 35, is really seeing the ball big. So you need to bowl a little flatter to have to make sure that you just extract something from the surface. And at the end of the 9th over, 41 for 1 is the score.
A really beautiful passage of play here for Olila. Ilora Joan making sure that she takes charge in the middle there. She has settled into the game. Already faced most of the balls. But it will be Maureen coming in to bowl her second. She didn't really give in much of the impact. But now coming in to bowl her second. Another open blade that will allow Joan to get back on strike. I love the fact that she has always gone in that field with clear intentions. She knows that with that open face, she will always beat those fielders. And there is always some 2 runs behind that square. But it's a good way to start off the over. Again on the onside. This should be realized on the offside. It should be realized so early for Jinja, because Laura is really comfortable playing on the offside. It's only a matter of not giving her width that she would love. A little touch and go there from the captain. She has kept her work so easy, and it has taken long time for Jinja SS to realize that Melissa is just trying to get off strike every time, and every time they have hung back at the inner circle. This time round on the onside, good with the sweep shot. I tell you, at the moment she looks to be unstoppable. I talked about not giving her with it. Now she bowls it straight around the pad, goes for a sweep shot, but good protection, good fielding at mid-wicket. Again hard this time round to the left of the mid-wicket fielder, and will allow Ilora to get off strike. Good rotation of strike, 4 already, and it will be Melissa on strike now. They should realize that she will look to just drop the ball and run. She's a good run. The way how she's getting herself in the game at the moment. This time round doesn't drop. The fielders will have to give in a chase, and she will pick up the first boundary. 4 runs to her total. A pitched up delivery there into the slot, and she only plays it through covers. Time to perfection, beating that gap, and everything is flowing so well for Melissa. Trying to tell her fella there that don't go across the lane. It could be so detrimental for you to go across the lane, because once you don't connect with the ball, it will always end at your stumps. A good over. That was picking up 8 runs and bringing the total to 50 after 10. Looking at the way how things were after the power play, 14 for none after 6, and now it is 50 for 1 after 10. You get a sense that there has been an acceleration in the scoring. Ilora has really done a great job now, accompanied by the captain. But there will be a bowling change. Biribawa coming in from the Juba Road end. Biribawa Mariam picked a 5 already in this tournament. And now this could be a good matchup. The left arm orthodox bowler bowling to two right-handers. They always possess some risk to the right-handers. And in my opinion, it took Jinja so long to introduce in Mariam. That's the challenge they always possess. If you don't align with the ball so well, if you don't reach the bounce of the ball, it will always be difficult. Malsa the non-strike trying to tell Ilora that you played that from the up. You just need to stay down, keep your head down, don't raise your chest. And that's good communication. I love it. And this time round, that was a chance of one run. That was a clear single not taken. Clear single not taken. And Melissa will have to realize that she has denied her partner one run. Again on the up. Spin on the ball, but there is some protection. That will be an easy single taken. Again, the outfield has some dew still in, and we've seen fielders sliding around, sliding a little bit in the field, because it hasn't really been hot here. The sun hasn't shined for long. Extras haven't been so many in this game. Hit hard, but there is deep extra covers. Who stops it in the field for one? Good field placements and good bowling with your field. And that has been a really good over from Bidibawa, bowling the 11th over and only conceding 3 runs. She has held the batters a little bit backwards now. That could be a good sign. Now, the captain didn't do so well from the Juba Road end. Now comes in to bowl from the side, school side. She has really been taken on by Laura. And now she comes to bowl to the captain Malisa. We know how good she is with the slog sweep, so you don't have to bowl anything that she can go under. A good touch there. Good touch. Good cricketing knowledge there from Malisa. Again, the off spinner just dropping it on the onside. Allows her 1 run. There always has been that 1 run for Malisa. Always there has been that 1 run. And now the captain bowling to Ilora, who showed intentions of trying to take her on. Again on the onside, a bit good fielding there. I don't mean in covers, on the offside. Real good piece of fielding at covers. Diving around the field. That's a dot ball to start with. It will be a good indicator for Jinja. This time round, again on the up. Hit so hard. The dive is in the deep. But they will get 2 runs. It was really hard going to the boundary. But good piece of fielding in the deep to stop it for 2 runs. She has saved her team 2 more runs. Malisa going hard on the offside. Again, picking up 1 run, which is really good. But I love the fact that these two batters have gotten runs on the offside, given that Shayla is bowling off spin, but again hitting against the turn shows you that there has clearly been good timing. It always never gets in the way of the batters when you're playing against the turn, but it is always about how long can you do that, because it's always never good to play against the turn. But with this on offer, not utilized to its fullest. Floated up in the air a little bit, stayed in the air for long, but Melissa hanging a little bit backwards, and that will be a weight. That will be a weight. She knows that she doesn't need to get anywhere closer to Melissa, and they have read that card so well. Trying to bowl it away from her will be a good strategy, because she's really strong on the onside. A good over it has been from the captain, going for only 5 runs, and after 12, 58 for 1. I tell you, these 2 overs have really done a great job for Jinja, cutters of Mariam and Shayla coming in and just bowling 12 balls and going for 8. Tell you, that would have been a good sign. But it will be Mariam continuing from the Juba Road, and came in and bowled 1 and went for only 3. Again, it is Ilora on strike. She was not in a great position playing against Mariam. On the up, and chance put down. Chance put down. That is not so good for Jinja at the moment. The field at point stayed flat-footed, and even after the drop, she doesn't recover, maybe to try and take the run out. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. You don't take that. Straight to the fielder. Shayla quick on her foot. She's really quick on her feet and denies that single taken from Melissa. Now is it? That should be up. And again pitching down the leg, outside leg stump. It's always not given the favor of the batter. Ooh, this time round. This time round, 1 over the cover fielder. She rushed to move inside a little bit, and in the end, Melissa goes on off strike. Oh, that could be bad, but she does so well to come back into her crease. And the umpire, of course, is convinced that Ilora had made her ground. Tries to come down the ground, doesn't align with the ball, and oh, she hadn't moved a long journey. But that was a very beautiful collection by the wicket keeper. Very good hands there. Up this time round, but it will land in the no man's zone. And it's another 1 run. You see how hard it has been for Ilora and Arikot to play the left-hander Mariam. And another decent over for Mariam, also going for 3. 61 after 13. tell you, for the third consecutive year, Skyview continues to lead with the sponsorship support that has even extended this year. They started with 30 million and now they have extended to over 100 million in sponsorship. But they are joined by other key partners, including Movit as the hygiene partners, Batball Uganda Limited as the broadcaster partners, and the logistics partners being Schoolie. So much action is still happening in this tournament. We are into the Super 8 stage, trying to go for the run out. Long ago it was called man carding, but because it is used throughout both female and men cricket, it's now run out. But you don't do that when the arm rotates through.
Yashira Namagoba somehow changing bowling ends, looking for some new fortune, and somehow she's not conceding many from the school end. It's a dot ball there for her. But now the current run rate moving to 4.65 for Olila High School. Brilliantly bowled there. She's just bowling it towards that volley area. And now Marisa Ariokot knows that Sheila Namagova is bowling her last over. So she doesn't want to take her on because she might give out her wicket and she wants to play out through throughout the innings. A little short and off the top edge of the bat. They are pushing for the second run. Some sloppiness there from Rashidat, from Nasu Natahia down at the faint leg, giving them a chance to pick up two. But you clearly saw the commitment there from Marisa Ariokot. As soon as she took off for the first run, she made sure that she gets ready to come back for the second. Two more balls remaining in this over. To the pads, but not out is the decision from the umpire, and it's another dot ball for Namagova. Sheila a little expensive this morning. She's gone for 28 runs, picking up just a single wicket in 3.5 overs, and she will be coming in for her final ball to wrap up this spell. Driven, hit and run affair. They will take the run, and that will bring us to the end of the 14th over. 64, I beg your pardon, 65 for 1 is the score after 14 overs. Hit up in the air. There is a waiting fielder, but the chance is put down. Mariam Biribawa creating the chance, and in the end it is not taken. The ball angling in there to Marisa Ariokot. It was a little full but not hit well by Marisa Ariokot, but it was put down by the fielder. Are some of the moments that Jinja SS will regret. 4 runs shy of scoring a half century. Joan Ilora looked very ugly in that frame going across the lane as that ball was angling away from her. Mariam can bring it in and turn it away from the batters. She goes full and that is hit down. Now Lukenga Leila with work to do. Good fielding. And only a single they will do take. The Jinja SS fielders are showing some energy as they continue with the proceedings. Beaten between jumping out and sticking to her crease, but she manages to dab that one down for a single. Mariam Biriba has been economical for Jinja SS. She's so bowled 2.4 overs and she's conceded just 9 out of the blocks. Work to do for the fielder at cow corner. Anna Mary with a fine stop, cutting off the boundary and cutting off that one to just a single. Fine work and great athleticism displayed there. At the end of the power play, the score was 14 for no loss. But Jinja Secondary School has gotten a way of accelerating a bit. Shimmy down the track and well driven down the ground. What a fine fielding there from Olila, cutting that one off. If that had gone past her, it would have resulted into a boundary. But she manages to put her body down the line and cuts off the boundary. And that single will bring us to the end of the 15th over. Olila High School is 70 for a loss of 1 wicket after 15 overs. It's match day 5. Another bowling change there for Jinja Secondary School. Kisa Anna Mary Nekesa into the attack. And she manages to start with the dot ball. Shia Namagoba completed her spell from the school end and she's replaced by Kisa Anna Mary. Another handed spinner in the outfit and changes in the field. Miriam Berewa switching places with Rashida Tikabula. One going to point and the other going to the mid-wicket area. Because Malisario Court is trying to cut it. So you need a good fielder who can take a catch for you. Malisa goes down the ground. And Inalukenga Leila with work to do. Fine stop. It's the single. For now, the singles will not hurt the Jinja SS batters because they know it's only the boundaries that will help Olila escape pressure being piled up by the Jinja SS batters. Inside out shot. And they take the run. Not good anticipation there from the fielder, giving them that chance of sneaking through for the single. Touch and go affair. There was a chance and the biggest chance was on the wicket-keeper's end, but all focus going towards the bowler's end. And then Malisario Court making her ground. Inside out shot. And that single will bring up the 50 runs for Joan Ilora. What an innings she has played. And the overthrow will give her an extra run. 51 for Ilora Joan. Fine batting there from the little girl. She's made sure that she opens the batting and holds through, and she's managed to bring up a well-constructed 50 to keep Olila in a very big contest of this game.
A much deserved 50 there at this stage of the game. She started off so quiet, very slow in her scoring, but after the wicket, rather the field opening, she also accelerated in her play. 51 from 55 balls. What an inning she's having, and it's what Olila needs at the moment. Her partner, Ariokot Malisa, also having 19, and this is the partnership that Jinja Senior Secondary School should be looking at breaking. You don't allow these two batters to settle at any time. Malisa record advancing down the ground, hit hard into the commentary side. Oh, and some bit of fielding has to be done. Really hit so hard. Knows that the fielder Laila is in the 30th, long off, rather mid off, and she uses her feet so well, reaches the bounce of the ball there, and plays it so hard along the ground, and picking up that boundary on the first ball of the over. Really pure good shot there. Good use of the feet. And all the way to the boundary. But a good comeback there for Biribawa, making sure that this time round balls it a little bit fuller. 16 overs done, and I tell you, a little lap there will give them 2 runs. Good awareness of the field placements. Doesn't look to overhit the ball, but just lapping it and getting 2 runs. With 3.3 overs left, I think it's time that Malisa Record has to go through the gears, accelerate, and we've seen that from her the previous 2 balls, trying to come down the ground. I tell you, she's reading the game so well. Oh, this time round won't leave with that, and she will have to depart for only 25 runs. But a very good ball there from Biribawa Mariam, bowling it too full, rather too straight to the stumps, and only picking up the bails. It's the breakthrough that Jinja Senior Secondary School wanted. She has really tried to come down the ground so many times. She does come down the ground, but finds the ball almost yoking her. She couldn't get under that ball. And I tell you, she only departs. And the second wicket falls. And it's 81 for 2 after 16.4. But you can't take away the efforts that the captain has contributed to this game. She came in at the stage where things weren't going their way. And at this moment comes in Nandera Immaculate, coming in at number 4. She's a handy bat as well. She can hit a long ball. And now it's a better matchup. The left-hander to the left-arm orthodox, with 2 boundary raiders on the onside for Nandera. Shaila next to us here in the commentary box at long on. And the deep square leg. Again, she goes straight away. She'll get off the mark. But the square leg fielder deep stops it for 1. Good way to get off the mark there for Nandera Immaculate. She has always been so strong on the onside. And it will be Ilora to face the last 1 ball for Mariam. She has really had a good spell. Only 18 runs and picking one wicket so far. She again stands a chance maybe to end with 2. But it will be so good for Olila, if Joan plays out all her overs, they both finish up the over. 7 runs from this, but most importantly, the wicket of Malisa fell in that over. And it is 82 for 2. 3 overs left, 16 balls to be specific. And it will be a heavy lift for Olila to go and reach to that 100-run mark. Because Jinja is a very good team when it comes to their batting as well. So I feel that 100 will be a very good total. That will mean they will need 28 runs in the last, rather 18 runs in the last 3 overs. With Nander on strike, it is Chisa to come and bowl the 17th over, the 18th over. Bowled so well, but played so nicely along the ground. A little punch there. A good shot from Nander Immaculate. Kisana Mario yesterday also bowled so well. She's among the top wicket takers for Jinja. Another single. They're trying to take 2. Nander is very quick in the middle. So is Ilora. Shayla Real had a long journey to move. The ball wasn't hit so hard, so it took time to reach her. But there was good communication in between. They're trying to get every run, so desperate to get every run like it comes. I tell you, every time she played that shot, she has looked so well. But when she has missed, she has really looked out of position, trying to align herself, taking her guard once more, taking her guard in the off stump, rather in the leg stump. And this will be another couple of runs on the onside. Not where she intended to play that shot, but in the end, the ends justify the means. Good over, it's turning out to be already 5 runs. Good awareness there from the non-striker, Nander Immaculate. She knows that it's her going on to the danger zone, and she starts straight away with 1 more ball left in Anna Mary's over.
Yeah, Anna Mary has forgiven away just 11 runs. But she's been handy replacing Sheila Namagoba from the school end and making sure that she carries on the good work. Tries to play it on the onside, and the umpire raises up the finger. Shuffling across the stump, Nandera Immaculate. She feels a little undone, but that's the dismissal.
They tried to, that was really plump. Pass shuffled across, maybe try and lure the ball into thinking that she's coming down the ground and ball it short. But the bowler stuck to her lanes, bowled it straight, a little bit slower. And Nandera Immaculate couldn't get under that ball. The 3rd wicket falls. And 88 is the score after 18 overs.
Nandera Immaculate comes and Nandera Immaculate departs. She's left her young sister, Joan Ilora, at the crease. But what a player she has been, Ilora Joan, 56 of 60. She's really been the batter anchoring the innings for Olila High School. 3 wickets falling around her. She opened the batting alongside Josephine Ichmaru, who went first. Made sure that she does a lot of good work. Divine Nyameri Gabriela is now the new batter in for Olila High School, and Asha Mukite will be coming to bowl the penultimate over and her final over in this game. Now the thinking for Olila High School will be trying to reach that 100 runs mark. 14 for no loss at the end of the power play, and they recovered going forward in the game, making sure that they hit outside of the blocks and pick up the runs. Mukite Asha swings hard but not in the frame. When you look at the way Lola is posing, you need to make sure that you step close to the ball and try to open up your blade. And it will be a dot ball for Asha Mukite to start off the over.
She came in the power play and bowled so well. She's hoping to continue with a good bowling display, and she has hit the hard lines. The fielders think that maybe there was some feather on that, but the umpire thinks otherwise. Maybe the batter hit the ground, the bat hit the ground. And 2 balls already, good deliveries from Mukite.
Make it another dot ball. Now the plan of making sure that Olila High School doesn't add many runs is moving the way of Jinja Secondary School. They are trying to make sure that they limit them as much as they can, and these dot balls are adding more pressure to Ilora Joan, because Ilora Joan knows they still have 7 wickets at hand. This is the time to attack. It's short, she goes, but there is a fielder. They have a chance of picking up the second run. Yes, they pick up the double, and that double will take them into the 90s.
Yeah, it was played so wide from the field at deep mid wickets and allowed them to pick 2 runs. Ilora has really played so well, has run so hard in between the middle, and it's no doubt that she has reached to that 58 runs to her name.
This time round, she connects very sweetly. You would hear it from the sound of the blade, and it goes in the vacant cow corner area. Ilora Joan brings up a welcoming boundary for Olila High School.
That was in the slot. Laura just almost going leg side, and strong wrist there she has to send that ball to the vacant area. Beautiful shot, but you don't blame the ball at that moment, because it was a good ball, but up to the task was the batter. She played it so nicely. We have seen so many good shots from Ilora, and now she has to do the heavy lifting. This time round, the throw is to the wrong end. I feel that had they aimed at getting Ilora to this near end of the bowler, she would have stood a chance. But good over it has been for Gul at the moment, rather for Olila at the moment, picking 7 runs.
Rashidat Kavala will be bowling the final 6 balls to wrap up this batting innings for Olila High School. $95 for 3 after 19 overs. Olila High School should be looking at reaching and breaching that 100 runs mark. But the danger, Joan Ilora is on strike. She goes. Does that one go all the way? Yes. to the boundary, and the umpire confirms that it is 4 runs. But what a pickup shot there from Joan Ilora.
She is really showing proper cricket display here. She's showing her class. She has played so beautiful shots today. Again in the slot, opening up that front leg to clear the arms and playing the ball to the right areas.
She goes again, this time round on the off. There are fielders, but it lands safe. 2 fielders looking at each other. But I love the intent and the attitude there from Joan Ilora. She knows this is the last over. And she knows that the runs that they will be adding in that over will be the winning runs. So she's making sure that she hits hard to pick up as many as she can in this over.
Tell you, that was a really big chance put down. But with 4 more balls left, it is Nyamir on strike. We saw her cameo against Masindi. She came in and contributed 21 from 7, striking at 300. So now she realizes that it is Ilora who is doing or timing the ball so well and gets off straight away. 100 runs already on board for Olila High.
Power from Joan Ilora. And it is another single. Olila has already breached the 100 runs mark. And now they will feel that somehow they fought back valiantly and made sure that they get runs. The innings didn't get going. They had only 18 runs at the end of the power play. But now they have managed to recover in the next phase of the game. A short pitched ball is hit, and now they are doing a hit and run. A bit sloppy in her running. Nyamere Divine, and she will be run out. Olila loses the 4th. 1 more ball remaining to play in this batting innings for Olila High School. Who won the toss and opted to bowl first? I beg your pardon, who won the toss and opted to bat first?
Yeah, clearly she hadn't made her grounds there, and the court standing right next to the crease had all the vision that she would have loved, that she would have deserved, and in the end the 4th wicket falling, and with only 1 more ball left, to my opinion, Olila High has done a very great job to reach that 100 run mark, given the way how they started this game. 14 after the power play, a very slow start, but the middle phase really did the magic for Olila High School.
1 more ball to play in the innings. Martha Amayo in for Olila. But Joan Ilora on strike. Oh, she'll have to bowl that one again. Tikaula Rashida bowling it wide down the legs.
And you could feel the sound with which the ball hit the wicket keeper's glove. It was really quick. The keeper did great to stop it down the ground, covered that day in early. The keeper, Ameja Annette. And this time round, it will be the last ball to be bowled in this inning. And the 5th wicket falling on the last ball. Good catch taken there by the bowler, Tikaula Rashida, making sure that she bowled so well and completes that catch, running into the ball, completing the catch.
President, I would love to put you on the hot spot and ask you, is 103 runs enough for Olila High School?
I said at the start that if they reach that 100, it will be a very good total, given that this is a very good clash between the big sides. So 100 will always be a good total. And again, given the way how yesterday I saw Jinja bat against St. John's, a side that has a very good bowling setup, and also is Olila, they struggled to get 80 runs. But now with 100 on board, Olila stands a chance to defend that score. In my opinion, I would say it is a very good score.
This is the final happening before the final. Olila taking on Jinja Senior Secondary School. Jinja Olila High School won the toss and opted to bat first. This tournament sponsored by Skyview Movit Products Limited, Schoolies, and Batboy Uganda Limited. But looking at the match summary for the game, it was the batting of Ilora Joan, 69 of 70, another contribution of 25 of 27 from Marisa Ariokot that pared Olila High School to 103 for 5 in 20 overs. 1 wicket apiece for Rashidat Kabula, Shira Namagoba, Biriwa Mariam, and Kisa Anna Mary Nekesa. And in the end, Olila High School has managed to post 103 for 5 in the 20 allotted overs of their batting innings. Jinja SS will be needing 104 runs in 120 balls to pick up victory. This is a Super 8 Group A clash. We will take a short break and we will return with the second innings.
And into the run chase for Jinja Senior Secondary School, where they come in to chase 104. Already the ball has gone through her run-up. Matchlet Nandera bowling from left arm over the wickets. And the opening batters for Jinja, Acheng yesterday had a very good contribution into that run, into that win against St. John's. So she opens with Nalukenge Laila, who didn't really contribute yesterday, but it was Acheng who led from the front. Now going through the proceedings already. Nandere Machulet starting with very good lines there. And you can see the plan is to bowl to the offside. Most of the fielders are on the offside. The C has been implemented on the offside. 2, 4, 6 fielders on the onside. That leaves only 2. Only 2 on the onside and 6 on the offside. Make that 7 fielders on the offside and only 2 on the onside. It's only about how you hit that line that won't allow the batters to go on the onside. But at the moment, Nander is doing so well, hitting the ball around middle and off and ending outside fourth stump. She's bowling with the angle, bowling from left arm round, rather left arm over, with the angle again towards the right hander, and she's doing decently so far. Much like Nandera, at some point in this tournament, we've seen her bowl left arm spin. Another little bit movement there, but finishing up the over with a maiden. A very beautiful start of the game for Olila at the moment. I think yesterday scoring runs but striking so low, and it has been the plan with the openers in this game already. We saw what happened with Ichumar and Ilora. They didn't start straight away. They had a hard start to the innings, but Ilora went on to score 68 runs from 70. So it will be the same kind of play that Jinja will love. They will love to see that one batter who plays out the innings and controls the flow of the game. And it is Nalukenge Laila on strike. But the bowler, Amayo, starting with a good line there, hitting it into the surface, and Laila going for a ball drive. Amayo Mathab is doing a decent job already, continuing from where Nandera stopped at. Really good lines there from Amayo Matha. Lovely lines. I love the idea that these two bowlers, Matchlet Nandera and Amayo Matha, have tried to bowl with the plan. But what is the contagious plan for Jinja at the moment? They have realized that the bowlers are not looking to attack the stumps or bowl anywhere around the pad or at the body. They've looked at bowling outside the lane of the stump, a little bit backward. So what could be the plan to counter-attack that plan for Olila? This time round won't be lucky. but she will be lucky in a way that only one run taken off that loose delivery, losing her lane there, Martha, and bowling it around the pads. Layla going off the mark, and the first run comes for Jinja Senior Secondary School into the accounts already. Little touch. Ichmarat covers there, stopping it with one hand. Another good over. Really good over and a really good passage of play. After 2 overs, Olila had 5 runs for none. Now after 2 overs, Jinja Senior Secondary School has 1 run for none. Great bowling display there from Immaculate Nandera. She always comes in and bowls 2 overs. At most, she bowls 3 in the power play, but they have looked at using her in the middle phase of the game again. Most times they have used her to bowl only 2 overs. Nalkengeleira trying to go hard after the ball. Maybe gets a sense that this time round it's pitched a little bit up. A really good run up for Immaculate Nandera. Flawless in her run up. Good action. Hitting the hard areas. Delivering hard lanes there to the batters. And she's doing pretty well at the moment. Cut hard, but there is another fielder. Tell you they had just adjusted the fielder in the deep and stopped that for another single. 2 runs. But it is Acheng who is struggling to get off the mark. I tell you, these 2 teams seem to be having a similar game at the moment. We saw Ichmar struggling for Olira, whereas Ilora was getting runs. And now it is Acheng struggling well. Layla is getting the runs. And that will be a really bad delivery there that they won't like that. We didn't see so many extras in the first innings. Only a total of 6 extras were bowled. It tells you how good the bowling was for Jinja. So you don't have to give them so many, because you didn't get so many. But Immaculate Nandera there correcting her lane. Good comeback there. Strays away in the previous, but this time round bowling it in perfect lanes. Wade stands there for the batter. Acheng, she tends to be really wide. And another good over for Immaculate Nandera, going for only 2 runs. And after 3, the score is 3 for none. I tell you, this tournament is proudly sponsored by Skyview. Their 3rd year they are sponsoring this tournament, and together joined with other key partners including Movit as the hygiene partners, Backball Uganda Limited as the broadcast partners, and Schooly as the logistics. Bowling in tandem. Amayo Martha coming in and bowling a good lane. She has looked to attack the stump this time round, which wasn't the plan in the previous over. I think she will have to readjust and bowl to that lane. That is the lane that they would love. Even a flying edge will go to the 3rd man, or even a faint shot can go to the waiting fielder at deep extra covers. So that is the better lane that you'll be looking to bowl to. Always getting the batter in an area of uncertainty. knowing whether to come forward or go backwards. That is really good lane there, really good lane. So many times we have seen Leila Nalukenge coming down the ground, but today she has really shown that she's not rushing. Coming down the ground has been her game in this tournament, and I would love to see her coming down the ground and reach the bounce of the ball there, or maybe create momentum to hit the ball. But at the moment, everything doesn't seem so easy for Jinja Senior Secondary School. They need to get the runs because the required run rate is at 6.25, needing 101 runs from 16.1. The two bowlers have really done a great job. The dot balls that they have picked have been so many. And that would be another maiden. One maiden apiece for Martha and Immaculate. And after 4 overs, the score is 3 for none. 101 required in 16 overs. And Immaculate Nandera will have to continue from the Juba end. This time round, they go for her 3 overs. She has really done so well. If they go through this phase and try and squeeze Jinja a little bit more, a bit up, but nowhere to the fielder. It's a dot ball start the over. Kasai this tournament proudly sponsored by Skyview and other partners like Movit, Schoolie and Batball Uganda. Good fielding efforts there from Melissa Rekot, a very good fielder that you will see in the field and love. That stop was really top class. Ichuma Josephine at covers didn't do so well with the bat, but she has been so good for Olila. Like I said, so many action, so many games happening in this tournament around the different around the different grounds. Sacred Heart Senior Secondary School versus Masaka Secondary School. Kasese Secondary School versus Nyakasura School. Iganga Secondary School versus Good Heart Senior Secondary School. Mount St. Henry's High School Mukono versus St. John's Secondary School at the Laibi B ground. And also Olila High. This is the game that we are watching live here at the Laibi main ground versus Jinja Secondary School, whereas St. Teresa Girls taking on Gayaza at the Laibi B ground. Nandera to continue with her last ball, and that will be a very good over. Only 2 runs taken in that over, and the score is 5 for none after 5. You see so many games happening, but they are group 8 games and also placement games. The teams that did make through the group stages were grouped in different 4 groups and constitute to the placement groups, where we see the likes of Sacred Heart, Gayaza, Nyakasura, Kasese, Sacred Heart, all those being in placement games, whereas the Super 8 constituting of Olila, Jinja, Mount St. Henry's, St. John's. So many games to come in this tournament, and those are the Super 8 games. This is the Super 8 clash for the Group A, And Olila winning the toss. The captain Malisa Ricote hasn't bowled so many, but against this strong side, she will have to come in and bowl, hitting it hard into the surface. I feel there was a chance of getting one run. Worked around the pad there. And now looking at Leila, already facing 17 balls but scoring 3 runs. Lovely, really good piece of bowling there from Malisa. She's taking her time to get back to the run-up after delivering a very beautiful ball there. Again, a little bit backward. We haven't seen them trying to rush for the stumps. They have held their lane a little bit backward, and it has always been hard for Jinja batters, Leila and Acheng, to execute or put away. And 3 dot balls already for Malisa. But this time round, Leila will get a breather. That's another extra. Already 2 in this over for Malisa. 2 wides called by the umpire. That will take some pressure off Leila, who is at non-strike and trying to reorganize her gloves. Try to take some time, think through how she has been playing so far, and hopefully calm her nerves down. Oof, oof. Good line. Really good line there. Trying to just run the ball down, but doesn't align herself with the ball. And in most cases, you find getting furthest of chances there to the wicket keeper. Like I said, we don't normally see so many of those full balls. We haven't seen so many of them from Olila's bowling. And this time round, trying to go for the stumps. But again, getting another dot ball. 1 ball left in this power play. And it's perfectly played by Acheng. And finishing the power play with only 7 runs on board. We saw how the first innings went about. Only 14 runs gotten in the power play. And now 7 runs got in the power play for Jinja. It shows you how good the bowling has been. Malisa coming in and bowling the last over of the power play, but only giving 2 runs off the extras. And now I get a sense that it will be the spinners or slow bowlers to come in. The quicks have really done a decent job. And Malisa trying to think of the better option. And it will be a bowling change from the Juba end. Amir Divine coming in to replace Immaculate Nandera, who bowled so well, undoubtedly so well, despite not picking a wicket, but her efforts were really great. Picked a maiden in those 3 overs, but Divine Amir coming in to bowl her first over. A very handy off spinner. Starts off with a full toss. Not really hit so well from Leila, but you could see that she tried to hit it so hard. And I tell you at the moment that wouldn't be a good line that Divine would love around the pad. For a set batter, it would be easy to put away. And that would be the lane she would love to bowl so often. And more often than not, we've seen her bowl the right-handers through the block hole. and she gets bounced off the surface. She gets turned on the surface, even on the extra turf. She always gets that turn. Too loose, but hit too fine. Melissa, a good fielder in the deep, throws to the right end, a little mix-up, and a collection made. And the umpire thinks it through, a non-strike. I love the throw from Melissa. The square umpire, Michael Quoth, well aligned with the stumps. And it was really good running between the middle there by Leila and Acheng. The throw was also very good from Melissa, throwing it from the boundary all the way to the wicket keeper. A long way to throw, but in the end 2 runs picked. Tell you, that was a really loose delivery from Divine. But good field settings here. Deep extra cover, the long off, long on, and deep square leg in play. 1 ball left for Divine. And Leila lunging forward and just pushing it a little bit. And we finished the over with a dot ball. 7 done, 9 is the score. Melissa Riekot will continue from the school end. Gave out 2 in her first over, and straight away starts hitting the good areas. Everything is seeming to be going Olila's way at the moment. It was the same with Olila's inning, the first innings. But after the power play, a faint touch there. A little feather on it, but there is protection at third man. But after the power play, there came in a partnership of Ilora and the captain, the captain, a record that saw Jinja go through that low phase to go through the gears and managing to get 103. And 2 times now the ball has gone in that area. I don't know whether the captain should think of deploying a slip fielder. But at the moment, with the way how these 2 batters are playing, you don't need to do anything extraordinary. They weren't scoring. So giving out 1 run, because if you put a fielder at sleep, that means you'll be at least somehow short by 1 fielder somewhere. So going with a defensive field will be so good for Olila at the moment. We've seen them go for the defensive field all along. And hopefully that just 1 run doesn't cost them so much. Now looking at Leila facing 26 balls and scoring 6 runs, whereas Acheng Elizabeth 20 balls and scoring 3 runs. They have really been so quiet. But one thing that you can't take away from Olila is how good they have fielded, leave alone how good they have bowled, but their fielding has really been top notch, especially the inner fielders. Slow this time round, a little bit slow into the surface, but straying away from that wide line. Melissa Riekot giving away her 3rd extra. Quicker this time round, and that will be another dot ball. 8 overs done, and the score is 13 for the loss of no wicket. Divine Nyamir bowled her first over and only went for 2. Now comes in to bowl the 9th over. What should be the way to get out this period of the game, to get out of this rabbit hole that you are in at the moment? For Jinja, they have struggled to get runs, and that should be a concern even for the coach. Rotation of strike hasn't been so much with the Jinja batters. Even the boundary options haven't been there like they weren't in the first innings. We only saw 5 boundaries and 1 6. And up in the air, Malisa is there calling for it and complete the catch. The first wicket falls, and it will be Olila who has to depart for only 6 runs. But good call there and good catch for Malisa. Flighted up in the slot, trying to take this one on. Malisa Reikota laying herself under the ball and completing the catch. A really good take there for Malisa, but what a breakthrough they've got at the moment. With so less runs on board, only 14 after 8.3, and losing a wicket. Maybe Jinja would have thought these 2 batters that have played so many balls will now try and go hard after the ball, but they don't get that time to readjust themselves, and the wicket falls. The first wicket falling in this second innings, and it is Divine who delivers. Olila goes back into the dugout, but it is Tumweba Zeruth who comes in at number 3.
Olila High School was 18 for no loss at the end of the 6th over, but now Jinja SS has been reduced to only 14 for 1 after 8.3 overs. Even though the opening batters have stuck in and made sure that they don't send pressure to the rest of the batting lineup, the runs on board have not reduced. Later Nalukenge's struggle, 6 of 29, has come to an end. And now the new batter, Ruth Mary Tumwebaze, is now in for Jinja Secondary School. Nyamero Divine Gabriela is still in the attack. She is a hand-leg spinner. But I tell you, she will not try to do a lot of things. She will always just bowl her overs very quickly. That's why she's already bowled 1.4 overs and she's considered just 3, and she's picked up the first wicket for Olila High School. A lot of protection on the onside. Turn and bounce. And it is a dot ball for Olila High School. End of the over. Just 1 run coming off that over by Divine Nyamel Gabriela. And the wicket, the first one in this innings. And as we come to the end of the 9th, 14 for 1 is the score.
Already into the wicket account for Jinja is Olila. They only need to pick up as many wickets as they can to make sure that they pick this win, this run defense for them. They scored 103, but Ilora Joan, being the pick of the batters, is contributing 68 runs. And now Acheng Elizabeth on straight to face the new bowler, changing the bowlers there. Aleto replacing the captain, Marisa Record. She did so well but gave out 4 extras. But now replaced with Aleto.
Another medium seamer in Martha Aleto in that attack, replacing another medium seamer. Shimmy down the track, and that's hit down the ground. Nyamero Divine with a fine stop. The batters kept looking at each other. You'll be happy that that throw from Divine did come in so quickly as they managed to sneak through for the second.
She did so well to cover a long boundary there, a long distance, and stop it for only 2 runs. Maybe somewhere the batters thought that that ball should have gone to the boundary. But in the end, good fielding in the deep. Like we've seen so many fielding efforts from Olila. Yeah, too easy, going for a direct hit. There was some backup, though. The bowler Aleto trying to stop it with her legs. I tell you, at the moment, if Jinja continues playing like this, it could be so good for them to see, because they are trying to at least run hard between the wickets, punch the ball around, punching with confidence.
Yeah, in this over, Jinja Secondary School has tried to somehow up the gears. Well, they took care of the wicket column, but what they need is runs if they pick up victory. So now Tumweva's Ruth Mary and Elizabeth Acheng are trying to hit the ball around. Beaten by the pace, and it is a dot goal for Martha Aleto.
Yeah, an extra bounce there from the surface. Today, the wicketkeeper for Olila has really done so well. We've seen Olila struggling behind the stump there with the wicket keeping, but today she has really done a great job.
Yeah, Annette Ameja, the girl who comes from Katakwi district, given the gloves to do some bit of work there for Olila High School. The only disappointment for Ameja is she has not improved so much yet. She has kept for longer. But somehow in this junior cricket, you get a few players and play around with them. And I tell you, this Skyview Girls Schools Cricket Week tournament is one of the tournaments that Cricket Uganda will be using to select the players that will join the high performance programs and see that Uganda pushes again for the under-19 World Cup slot. Rwanda and Nigeria have represented Africa in the 2 editions that have been played. But as we come at the halfway mark at the end of the 10th over, Jinja SS has only 18 runs for a loss of wicket, and they need more 86 runs.
At this stage of the game in the first innings for Olila, the score read 50-1. You get a feeling that Jinja Senior Secondary School is 32 runs behind from where Olila was at this stage of the game. Already halfway mark reached already, but with not so many runs, 18. So something has to be done with the 2 batters, Tumwebaze and Acheng, and all other batters that are to come in. But most importantly, a partnership is intimate.
Olila High School has made changes in the bowling attack, taking Nyamero Divine Gabriela out of the attack and introducing Ruth Ilong. 19 for 1. Required run rate is 18.64 and current is just 1.87. A lot of work to be done by Jinja SS. Full toss dispatched, but there is Marisa Ariokot. Oh, sorry, that is Achio Perpetua, who does a very fine stop cutting off that boundary. And only a single they do take. Very, very good on the boundary. Olila High School making sure that they keep the pressure to the Jinja SS side, even though they are not taking wickets, but the dot ball percentage is high in this game. Another dot ball. Brilliant work there being done by Olila.
Really good. Good display here from Olila. They have kept to that defensive mode, not attacking. All the 4 boundary raiders at the boundary. But even the inner fielders have done a decent job.
Yeah, except for that poor throw they are coming in from Ilora Joan. Whether Ilora Joan is also a wicketkeeper, but in some of the games she is used ahead of a major Anit. And now Marisa Ryoko, the captain, is telling Ilora that when you get the ball, please throw it to the keeper. Because she tried to go for a direct hit and she ended up giving away an extra run to the Jinja SS batters. But a shout out to the sponsors of this tournament: Skyview, Movit Products Limited, Schoolies, and Batbo Uganda Limited. Gulu High School has been the host for the second consecutive year when this tournament has come to Gulu. But Cricket Uganda and Northern Cricket Hub are the organizers of this tournament. One more in this over, and it will be a dot ball trap up the over. 3 off Ruth Ilongo's first, and 22 for 1 is the score after 11. Martha Aleto returning for her second over, 4 runs in her first. 8 of 26 for Elizabeth Acheng and 4 of 11 for Tumweba's Ruth Mary. Shimmy down the track, but nowhere in the frame. And it is a dot ball. A major Anit was trying to go for that stamping, but the batter making her ground in quick time. And the appeal for the stamping goes in vain. Match day 5 of the Skyview Girls Schools Cricket Week tournament happening here in Gulu. Jinja SS taking on Olila High School. A final happening before the final, but this is the Super 8 clash in Group A. Shimmy down the track. The only issue for the batter is that she's been moving away from the line of the ball, so even though you're moving down, you need to make sure that you get to the pitch of the ball and hit it down, failing to close in, and she might give out her wicket if she doesn't make her ground in quick time. This time round, she makes contact and work for deep square leg to do. Well fielded by Amayo Martha, cutting that one off.
Tell you the way how Ruth is coming down the ground. Even when the bowler is still having the ball in the hand, the bowler takes time to adjust because she sees you coming down the ground. So all along she has just hit it a little bit even behind when you come down the ground, and has even hit it wider from the batter. It's only that the wicket keeper is standing far behind the stumps. And most times you see keepers coming up the stumps to cut out that option. But in the end, she's coming down and not connecting, so it doesn't affect them so much. Malisa taken on, but picks up so early and so well. Knows the urgency that they don't need that extra run. And she doesn't throw, only lets it go for a single. And good awareness once more from the captain.
Right in the eating hack. but it will go for only a single. At this time, Jinja SS will need to make sure that they access the boundary a little more if they are to give a chase. More 79 runs needed in 8 overs. And as we come to the end of the 12th over, scoreboard reads 25 for 1.
Ivan, I would like to pick your mind on this game so far. 78 runs required in 8 overs. Do you think that Jinja can go through their gears and reach at that required run rate and hopefully pick up a win against Olila at the moment?
If they can pick a boundary or to every over, they stand a very big chance of picking up victory. And they have 9 wickets at hand. This is a time when you deploy these batters and tell them, try and make sure that they go hard to try and make sure that they access the boundaries. But when they keep playing safe and giving away those dot balls, they will not have any chance of picking up victory. But 2 boundaries, 3 boundaries will also shift the pressure to the Olila High School, and you will see some things being missed, like bowling changes being made early. But the batters are still playing without showing any intent. Like that ball was drifting away, and it was a ball in the act for cutting. It goes unpunished, and it is a dot ball. Full access to the ball, but she can't even push it harder. And another dot ball. These are the things for Jinja SS to address if they pick up victory.
Yeah, they should go back on the drawing board and see what do they need to do. Because we have seen so many times they've reached the bounce of the ball, but just maybe pushed a little bit. They need to try and look at those ways on how to cut out the dot balls, consume less dot balls, but score many runs. That is only way that they will get to that required run rate.
But I tell you, these dot balls will mean even more pressure to the Jinja SS batters, because they need to hit out of the blocks, try and make sure that they get early runs and chase down what Olila High School posted. Is a work there by the wicket keeper effecting that stamping, and it will be another wicket for Jinja Secondary School. Elizabeth Acheng out of her ground, and the wicket keeper did the needed work.
Not at all waiting for the ball to be released from Ilongu's arm. She comes running down the wicket, and the ball is just bowled very close to her. She doesn't get anywhere to adjust herself, and the stamping from the wicket keeper makes it even easier. The second wicket departing for only 26 runs, and the wicket to finish up the over. What a good over it has been, a maiden wicket over, and it will be Namagoba Sheila coming in for Jinja at number 4.
One thing you're going to see from the batting of Namagoba Sheila is that she will try and make sure that she hits the ball around, because now what is affecting Jinja SS is that there has not been any urgency being displayed by the batters. But you need to make sure that you go a little harder, fit out of the blocks, pick up a few boundaries here and there to keep yourself in the game. 78 in 7. With that full toss not being dispatched. A bowling change for Olila High School. Ichumar Josephine replacing Martha Aleto from the school end.
Yeah, now they are the slow bowlers that are doing the job for Olila at the moment. Ichumar is also a very good bowler. She gives the ball some flight. She bowls it really slow. As a batter, you need to wait for the ball so well that you don't have just to come down the ground like we saw what Acheng did last time.
Little further, the captain comes outside edge of the bat into play. Annette Ameja with the catch. Josephine Ichumar picks up her first wicket, and Jinja Secondary School loses the third wicket.
A very good ball there. Bowling from top. A tall bowler getting the extra bounce off the surface, trying to cut that ball but not getting the middle of the bat. And the captain will have to go back in the dugout with only disappointment in her face, because she thinks she should have done so well to chase down this score. But what she didn't do even with the ball, she was not in a good day today. But the third wicket falling for only 27, and it is only a matter of time that this run chase is almost tending to go to Olila's side.
And the new batter in for Jinja Secondary School is Asha Mukite. She was so good with the ball during the first innings, and now she comes in to make sure that she looks for the runs. 77 more needed in 6.3 overs for Jinja SS to pick up victory. But the current passage of play shows that Olila High School is on top of this one.
Yeah, the extra bounce on the surface for Ichmar will mean that driving won't be easy, and that will be another wicket. Nandera completing the catch at point, and the fourth wicket falling. Another batter biting the dust, and it is Mukite who has to depart. Another 0. Again flighting it up in the air, giving it a little bit of flight in the air and a little movement of the surface. Look at the celebrations there for Nandera. She's trying to again intimidate the batters with that celebration, but they are unstoppable at the moment because everything is going their way.
It's looking even more tight. Olila High School, the pressure on and making sure that they pick up the wickets. All the chances that have been created have been taken. 27 for 4 after 13.5. Tikabula Rashida making her way to the crease. One more ball remaining in this first over for Josephine Ichumar. She's already picked up 2 wickets.
She comes in as an optional ball after all the good options have been used, and straight away she's picked 2 wickets. That is always the beauty of having an extra bowler. I tell you, she has also opened the bowling for Olila High School at some point, but today she comes in at the other options. But already 1 ball left, and the new batter Tikabula Rashida leaving it for a dot ball, and it will be only 1 run taken, and after 14, 27 for 4. Ichumar Josephine had a good over bowling from the school end, and now a long bowling from the Juba Road end. Also had a decent spell so far, bowling 2 and picking 1 wicket, but conceding only 4 runs. Tumwebaze Ruth has been there silent all along for Jinja. I tell you, we haven't seen boundaries coming for Jinja. Even a little shimmy down the ground doesn't access much power, doesn't give much power to Tumwebaze Ruth, not reaching the bounce of the ball and just pushing it a little bit.
She had a very fine over Ruth Ilong, giving away just 4 runs, and now she returns. The batters have been trying to hit the ball, but they are not making sure that they reach it so nicely and hit with power. Long on and long off down at the boundary. Again, Rashida Tikabula playing so dead. I feel like every time you get close to the ball, try and maybe use your wrist, try and use some power to push it away. But now no runs coming the way of Jinja SS.
Yes, they have really reached the bounce of the ball, but all they have done is just push it around. They haven't tried to use maybe the wrists, try and beat the gaps, try and beat the fielders and pick the gaps. All has been courtesy of just casual, presenting the full face of the bat, yes, but just straight to the fielders. A little shimmy, open face, and that will allow them to rotate the strike. Tikabula Rashida goes off the mark after facing 4 balls.
I tell you, Fortnite, now the singles cannot hurt the Olila fielders because they know that it will be many boundaries if Jinja SSS pick up victory. Down the leg, and she will ball it again. 75 needed from 5.1 overs, and the passage of play currently, Jinja Secondary School is in sorts of trouble as they cannot even find the gaps at this time. But that poor throw from Martha Eleto will give the batters chance of picking up the run. Threw it over the head of the fielder, and the batters reading that very nicely, and they do take the run.
Like you say, Dave, and singles won't hurt Olila High School at 10 in any way because the required run rate being at 14.6. Even if you pick up 6 singles in an over, that won't do Olila any harm. But even winning big with a big margin will be much appreciated for Olila to boost their net run rate in these group stages. You never know, maybe losses are waiting Olila at some edge or at some corner. So winning with a big margin will be so much appreciated. But finishing up the over with a dot ball, 15 gone and 32 for 4.
Ichumar Josephine now returns to ball for Olila High School. Her first over went for just 1 run, and she picked up 2 wickets. Now she is back to ball some more leg spin. Tip mid wicket, long on extra cover, and long off all at the boundary. As Josephine Ichumar returns with a dot ball.
I haven't liked the way how Tumuevas is coming down the ground. She's tending to come down the ground even before the bowler releases the ball. As a bowler, you have that extra second to adjust when you see the ball, rather the batter coming down the ground. It is always about fast picking up the lane of the ball and you advance. But most times we have seen Tumuevas are trying to come down the ground even when the bowler is still on her run-up.
I think now the instruction from the coach is you go and don't stick in your crease. But again, they are jumping out very early. There's an appeal of a stamping, and the umpire says yes. Tikabula Rashida was miles away. A stamping off a weight delivery there from Josephine Ichumar, and Olila High School picks up the 5th wicket.
Always had that second. Ichumar always has that second. When you're coming down the ground with the ball still in the bowler's hand, the adjustment has to be affected. And the adjustment was effected there. Bowling it wide, trying to come back into the crease. Wow. She would have just maybe put her bat back into the crease, but not trying to again move the bat and the leg at the same time. There was some lapse in time there, and the 5th wicket fell.
I think as soon as she missed the ball, she knew that she was in trouble. That's why she tried returning back to her crease while panicking. 34 for 5. It's becoming a very tall order. Tahia Nasuna, the left-handed batter, is now in for Jinja Secondary School. Nasuna Tahia previously served as a captain for Jack. And now she comes in to continue and try and make sure that she gets some runs for Jinja Secondary School. Jinja Secondary School Jinja is finding the runs, but nowhere to get them. And the moderate balls coming the way of Olila High School.
I think even the plan at the moment for Jinja is to play out the overs, because you see every batter that is coming in for Jinja isn't trying to look at scoring runs, but they have tried to look at the way how they can play out the overs. But a good over it has been for Ichmar, picking up only 2 runs from that over Jinja, but a wicket fell in her over, and after 16, 34 for the loss of 5.
Devin Gabriela Nyamero is the bowling change. He replacing Ruth Ilong. Another stamping chance, and the umpire raises up the finger. Ruth Mary Tumweba's out of her crease, and it is another wicket for Olila High School. This batter's not taking care of where they are standing, and Olila High School capitalizing on those chances.
Coming down the wicket to create room and play on the offside, not covering the lane of the ball in the first place, and the wicket keeper has really done so well, taking that stamping, really quick stamping, and in the end it's the 6th wicket that has fallen. Abu Mary has to go back into the dugout. Quick stamping there, really quick stamping, and good lanes there from Divine, picking up her second for only 3 runs. Look at that, really quick and good stamping. It's only Abu trying to look back to the square leg umpire, thinking that maybe he will have some mercy to her, but in the end it's only 4 wickets left for a Jinja, and still needing 70 runs from 3.5 overs.
Maureen Abo in for Jinja Secondary School. 2 things that you will see for the players who have been coached by Habib Mugalwa: the long strides while batting, but also they are always good orthodox. But sometimes in cricket, mostly in T20 cricket, you need to be having those shots. Can you cut the ball late? Can you slog one away? Full toss it down the ground, well slapped. But it will be easy picking ups there for Nandra Immaculate, cutting it off to just a single.
Like you said, every person that has been coached by Mugalula has that long straight. It is a good skill set when you're playing against spin to reach the bounce of the ball and defend from the front foot. But it is also imperative that you have to be good to adjust with the bounce, maybe go back on the back foot, because if you're to see the best players of spin, they really play on the back foot, really quick on their feet, and in the end a sweep takes Tiga Nasuna off strike, and it will be Abu to face the second last ball of Divine. but it has really been a cold play for Jinja because so many players have struggled to score runs. Everyone that has come out to bat has really been struggling. Divine bowling really nicely at the moment, finishing up her over with only 2 runs but a wicket to make it even more interesting. 1 over left in her spell, and after 17 overs, 36 for 6 is the score. I tell you, if you're to look at the scorecard for Jinja, it's only Acheng Elizabeth that has scored a double figure, but all the other scores have been toll-free numbers, 69001118. So you get a feeling that not the batting show that you love from Jinja.
Yeah, Josephine Ichmar now returns to bowl her 3rd over. She has so far bowled 3 overs, picked up 3 wickets, and conceded just 3 runs, and she returns very, very good on fielding her own ball. She gets her body down the ground very, very quickly, and she manages to cut that one off.
And if you're to look at the extras bowled in this over, rather in this inning, only 8 extras, but how about the bowling economies? Good economies of 1.3 for Nandera, economies of 0.5 for Martha Amayo, economies of 3 for Melissa Ricote, economies of 1.67 for Divine Gabriel Nyamir. So good economies.
Yeah, the bowlers of Olila High School have been struggling, and they have been making sure that they don't let Jinja SS pick anything away easy. They have made Jinja SS work for all their runs.
Bowling with 7 bowling options. It tells you that they have so many bowlers at their display. They have the leverage of shuffling the bowlers around is Olira. And Ichumar coming in as the 7th option and giving in that performance, picking 3 wickets. That has been really good from Ichumar.
I tell you, they always step forward and block from the front instead of trying to wait. And they cut maybe, so it becomes very hard for them to score the runs. But we've come to the end of the 18th over. 38 for 6 is what the scoreboard reads.
With only 2 overs left, rather 12 balls, and it will be Elong to bowl the penultimate over. Played, trying to go on the onside, but ends up the pad. One shot that you love from the left-handers is their slow sweep, but don't forget about the cut shot. But when playing against spin, they look so good playing that slow sweep. But not the length that you can go under on that occasion. Malso record. Sweeping at the boundaries. We have 4 fielders at the boundaries for Olira. And 3 more balls left for Elong, who has really chipped in so many balls and bowled decently, picking 1 wicket. He's doing decently at the moment. The 2 batters, Abu Morin on strike now, has only scored 1 from 8. And I think it will be so good for them to now try and play out the overs, because you can't chase this score now with 48.75 being the required run rate and needing 65 runs from 1.1 over. Mathematically, that is impossible. So it's better that you play out all the overs. But with that edge, will allow them to pick up to the collection to the keeper would have done Jinja a disservice there. But it was poor collection from the keeper, allowing Abu Morin to pick 2 runs and to finish up the over with 2 runs, and the total is 41 for the loss of 6 wickets. And it's the last over of this inning. And the captain has done a great job not giving it to Nanderi Machlet, who bowled decently in the power play, but giving it to Ichmar, who has come in at the end and picked 3 wickets. She's extracting that bounce with ease off the surface, because it is a concrete surface that we are playing at, and bowling from the top like she is, there is always some bounce. And like we have seen for so many players of Jinja, coming and playing every ball on the front foot, and that bounce is always the bowler's advantage. That's much better lane there from Ichmar. 62 runs required. Like I told you, every ball they have tried to play from the front foot, which is not always ideal when you're playing spin. You have to find a balance of playing on the back foot and the front foot. But we haven't really seen so many players go on the back foot for Jinja.
Just 3 more deliveries remaining to make it game, set and match. Another dotty ball, and now Jinja SS not even showing intent. At least if wickets at hand, you try to go hard at these 2 balls. If you connect something, it becomes so nice for you, but there is no intent from Abu Morin. Just 1 more ball to wrap up the match, and it's already a victory, because even a miracle of a very big proportion may not give Jinja SS the victory. It's stamping to wrap up the innings. Jinja SS managing only 42 for 7 in the 20 overs, and the Olila High School winning.
She has done so well. Again, bowling it too full, not allowing the batter to get under the ball. Going across there, Abu trying maybe to pick up a maximum, but it's the wicket that falls on the last ball of this inning. And the bowler Ichmar finishes with 4 wickets and 6 runs in her 4 allotted overs. What a display it has been from Olila. They have really outplayed Jinja, winning by 61 runs.
I tell you, this victory for Olila High School means that the only unbeaten team in the tournament are only 2. Late Secondary School and Olila High School. Skyview Movit Products Limited, Batboy Uganda Limited, and school is all making sure that this tournament happens. Cricket Uganda Northern Cricket Hub doing the organization of this tournament. Olila High School won the toss and opted to bat first, and the plan really worked out for them so nicely. because they managed to get themselves to 100. They managed to get themselves to 103 runs for 5 in 20 overs, and Jinja SS in response managing to score only 42. But it has been a standout knock from Ilora Joan, a half century in the first innings, 69 off 70 before being caught and bowled by Rashidat Kaula. And Malisario caught his 25 off 27 that boosted Olila. And in the runs defense was Josephine Ichmar, who picked up 4 wickets, supported by Nyamel Divine Gabriela with 2 wickets. Just 1 wicket going in the way of Ilong, and in the end, Olila High School picking up a 61 runs victory. My name is Evan Cyprian Sajabia in the comms, and I was here with Fortinet Alijina giving you the beautiful stories from the ongoing Skyview Girls Schools Cricket Week tournament. Action is continuing. 2 more playing days with more games lined up this afternoon. Make sure you keep it Cricket Uganda, because we'll be broadcasting so many more games. It's a wrap up for now.